Okay, we're live. Hello, it's Bill, the Knee Pain Guru. Today is Tuesday, April 27th, 2021. Today we're going to talk about, tibial plateau fractures. Someone who had a tibial plateau fracture 7 months post-operation have already had 2 manipulations under anesthesia with some success, whatever they define as success. Anyhow, situation commonly happens, tibial plateau fracture post-surgery, could be meniscus, could be ACL reconstruction, ligament reconstruction, whatever it is. A lot of people are in the same place after knee surgery. So I will read, it's from Kim. It says, hello, 7 months post-op for a tibial plateau fracture. Tibial plateau fracture, have had 2 manipulations under anesthesia with some success. I had a very painful scar tissue that's interfering with my therapy. My flexion is about 80 degrees and my extension is stuck at about 40 degrees. I'm so lost now because I'm not able to walk or do anything, and this pain is so unbearable. It happens. It happens because that's what the medical model does. You know, you fracture your tibia, you have to have surgery. Absolutely. Have the docs help you out. That's important. That's what's going to get you to the other side of your situation. It was a similar situation for myself. David Jose. Hello, sir. Good to see you. Great work you're doing out there in Maricopa County. So tibial plateau fracture, any type of knee surgery, and consequently what happens is the reason people get stuck in post-surgery with limited range of motion, pain, and dealing with scar tissue, what ends up happening is we have to look at the underlying cause of what is creating the pattern causing the knee to produce the scar tissue, producing the limited range of motion, and the body getting stuck. And we have to look deeper, excuse me, than the tendons, then the ligaments, then the muscles, then strengthening the legs. We have to look at how we can get the nervous system to relax and unwind and let go of the tension that it's holding on to. So the body produces scar tissue as a result of protecting the knee from getting injured further, protecting the motion of the joint because of the trauma, the injury, the accident, the surgery that the body has experienced. Normal response to what it's been through, but what happens is it's a way of kind of isolating and protecting the joint so it doesn't feel more pain or more of what it's already felt. After you get on the other side of the surgery and physical therapy, this scar tissue that builds up can inhibit the body being out of pain, the knee being out of pain, as well as the body getting full range of motion. And the key lies in the neurology, in the nervous system, the body's ability to let go of the tension, because the nervous system essentially doesn't feel safe, supported, or listened to. It's a simple way of looking at it. And we begin to increase the range of motion in the joint by creating comfort. And when we create comfort, we tap into the neurology that's causing the body to protect itself. And when we shift the neurology, we move the body from a sympathetic to a parasympathetic state, the joint relaxes. And just the sheer point of getting the joint to relax, it increases the range of motion without ever having to do anything with the scar tissue. This is the cool part. This is the interesting part about how the body works, how we have this divine intuition and how our body functions. So we switch the neurological states, which increases the range of motion, increases the comfortable range of motion in the joint. And when we increase the comfortable range of motion, just that little bit more movement will begin to break down the scar tissue, because now the joint can move a little bit more and it's not hurting to do so. So the more we create comfort in the joint, the more we increase the comfortable range of motion, and comfort begets comfort. The more comfort we create, the easier it is to break down the scar tissue, the more range of motion we can get. So, David, I do the same thing with the body that you do, that you do with the law. So I so want to learn from you. Anyhow, so this is essentially what we do. We begin to train the neurology, and you're going to immediately get this, David. We train the neurology to understand what comfort is. Because when our nervous system is designed to look for the threat, look for the danger, look for whatever is going on that we don't want to feel. Unfortunately, our neurology locks into what we don't want. And we end up creating and getting more of that. So by beginning to train the neurology to understand what comfort is, we begin to create a contrast between the experience you're having currently and a new experience that is kind of enveloped with uncertainty. We're creating something different, a path that we aren't clear of or aren't sure about. And the more we begin to create that contrast of what comfort is, or using terminology of how it's different than what you're currently experiencing, the more it opens up the realm of possibilities for your body to experience something different other than it's currently feeling. And once we begin to do that, then we just continue to train the neurology on how to understand what comfort is. And we set up the conditions in your body, meaning water, nutrition, supplementation, breathing. All of that is going to play a role so your body has the support it needs to continue that momentum after we've created comfort. So we're creating the comfort, we're giving the body the support it needs to continue its healing process, and then we want to be very present to self-sabotage. Well, what does self-sabotage look like? Self-sabotage is going back and doing the patterns that got us the injury to begin with. The neurology is very tricky because 30 days to form a habit. So we need to create new habits that will allow the body to move in the direction of something different other than what it's currently experienced. And we're surrounded in a world that is all focused on no pain, no gain. Pain is weakness leaving the body, push through the pain. That mentality that creates a blind spot in our body's physical ability to move forward to its full potential. So that's the essence of what we're talking about. So we could be talking about tibial plateau fractures. We could talk about meniscus surgery. We can talk about ligament reconstruction. We can talk about chondromalacia. It doesn't matter what your diagnosis is. Bone on bone, knee replacement, arthritis, severe arthritis, whatever your diagnosis is not important, because we're looking at the principles by which the body heals. And all we need to do is engage the reflexes that the body wants to engage, but it gets kind of stuck. It's stuck. The fuse gets blown, so to speak, meaning we have the injury, the accident, the trauma, the surgery, which blows the fuse and gets the body locked into this stuck place that it doesn't know how to get out of. And that's what we need to begin to engage, these reflexes that will begin to let go and reset the fuse box, so to speak. So now the body can begin to heal. Yes, bone on bone. Okay. We have to get a deeper understanding of what bone on bone is and the process by which we get to bone on bone. Bone on bone is a spectrum of arthritis that has gone unchecked for a period of time that eventually wears to get to a condition of bone on bone. We have to look at the outcome that we're looking for, meaning if you were diagnosed with bone on bone and you had no pain or restriction in range of motion, would you care? That's the question. Would you care what your diagnosis with if you didn't have any pain and you didn't have any restriction in your range of motion? Most people, 99 out of 100, would say no. I wouldn't go to see the doctor. I wouldn't get injections. I wouldn't take drugs. I wouldn't get a knee replacement surgery. So the focus is on your experience of your knees. Let's focus on the experience of your knees. Your knees have nerves that are the width of an eyelash that are being squeezed. They're being irritated. And when we change the neurological signaling in the body by creating comfort, we switch from a sympathetic, fight or flight or tense state to a parasympathetic. The joint relaxes, gets the pressure off of the nerves. The movement begins to increase without putting any extra time, energy, or effort into it. It happens relatively quickly because the neurology fires at the speed of 286 miles per hour, which is the nervous system. We're just tapping into that and let the nervous system do the heavy lifting for us instead of us having to struggle with pushing through the pain or strengthening the legs that probably really aren't weak. We just need to get them in balance. Like calcium deposits make the bone get as big as it takes to hurt. Now there is here, David, you're going to like this. Okay, calcium builds up as a result of chronic dehydration. When the body is chronically dehydrated, there's a priority in water allocation. Our brain and our blood and our organs come like first, second, and third in terms of keeping the body alive. So we have to have enough water resources available so we don't get clots in our brain, in our organs, and all of that needs to function. What happens is when we get chronically dehydrated, the body goes to the bones and the synovial fluid in the joints to rob the water from those areas to get it to the brain, the blood, the organs to keep you alive. As it's drawing the water out of your bones and the synovial fluid in the joints, it draws calcium out of the bones. Well, that excess calcium ends up someplace, and many times it ends up in the joint that is squeezing too tight, because all diagnosis of arthritis is dehydrated joint. All diagnosis of arthritis. So what's happening is the joint is squeezing close together. My fist, knuckles are white, fist is white. I open my hand, it's white, and then the color returns when I take the tension out of the joint. So when we have arthritis in the joint's becoming dehydrated because of the tension and the pain, which creates more tension, which squeezes the joint further, causing the bones to rub. It wears away the meniscus and the cartilage in the knee. So real simple thinking is, well, I'll drink more water. However, if there's tension in the joint, it doesn't matter how much water you drink, it still can't get in the joint. So we need to look at this holistically. We need to look at the body in a way that supports creating comfort, which is getting the pressure off of the nerves, changing the neurological state in the knee so it relaxes. And then we need to make sure the body can absorb the water that it is drinking. And then we're creating comfort, establishing the support so the body can begin to heal. Okay. Thanks, Lloyd. Yes. Yeah, you would say that. Relax the joint so you can receive it, man. Okay. So David, thank you. Appreciate it very much. It is really simple. Like and it's no different than what you break down with the law. It's no different. It's simple. It's just that initially creating the mindset or the neurology to think in that direction of the brain. Thank you, Lloyd. It's just a different way of looking at the body, how it heals. It breaks it down pretty simple. So, if you are interested, if you would like more information, you can head on over to thekneepainguru.com. That's my website. There you can get on my mailing list. I send out emails daily that educate you on this process. If you are interested in consulting, you're welcome to set up a time. There's a link to book an appointment, as well as my group coaching program, where we meet in a private Facebook group twice per week, or actually it's a Zoom call. The private Facebook group is how you can leave questions. And we work starting with the knees, but what happens is the knees connect to the rest of the body, the hips, the lower back, the hamstrings, the quads, the shins, the calves, the ankles, the feet. And we look at when the knees start getting comfortable, then we begin to uncover the layers of tension, injuries, accidents, traumas, and surgeries that have built up in your body over time. And normally they call it old age. It's really just the neurology building up excess tension. So that's if you have any questions, please type those in. David, I appreciate. Can I send a Cash App gift? I haven't considered it. I've got hundreds of these videos that I've been sharing this information for over a decade now. So I just love to have you in my program. We can certainly talk about that offline. If you want to send me a message, we can work on that. But this stuff is what I give out because my goal is to shift people's mindsets to understand how the body can heal. And once you get this foundational level, a lot of this stuff you can do yourself. And I want to be there so we can continue to upgrade or top level your work with your physical body. Because once we get you out of pain, it's almost like a foundational level of how we can build on your mobility, your flexibility, your strength, feeling young. Like when the body doesn't move, because we essentially paint ourselves into a corner because, I don't want to move my shoulder that way. Well, then that affects how the hip moves. It affects how the tension in the knees and all that. And this builds up over our lifetime, and we move less and less and less. And when we move less like that, we feel older. We can't get on the floor and play with our kids like we used to, or our grandkids, or enjoy working out or exercising like we like to. And it's just a function of getting the body to recover faster, that it loses the ability to do so because of the tension and stress that builds up in the neurology. So that is what we're working with. Okay. I'm going to scoot. I got a coaching call here in a little bit, but I want to thank you all so much for being here. David, I appreciate the questions. Lloyd, I appreciate the comments. It's awesome stuff. If you have any other information or would like any more information, head over to the kneepainguru.com and sign up for the newsletter, and we'll go from there. So, thank you. Bill Paravano, the Knee Pain Guru, going to sign off for today. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you on the next one.